All right, so for this game, we're going to have what is going to essentially be a somewhat of a sequencing game. Essentially, we're going to have these 3 days to work with. We're going to have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But on top of that, for each one of these days, we're going to have exactly 2 of these presentations or workshops that are going to be given. And on top of that, each of them is going to have a morning and an afternoon session. Now, there are arguably 2 ways that we could run this. We could just set up 2 spaces under each day to signify one for the AM and then one for the PM session. And then we would repeat, right? Every day has AM, PM, AM, PM. Now, this is a workable setup, but in these kind of situations whereby you have the same types of things kind of repeating, so every single one of these days, AM, PM, it's good to be able to have those things together. So instead, what we're going to do is we're essentially going to set this up as a 2-tiered game, and we're going to reserve 1 tier for each day for the morning, and then the other tier for the afternoon. The benefit is that it lets you visually see similar things together. So if you want to look at all of the morning sessions, you can just kind of look across here. If you want to look at all the afternoon sessions, you look across there. And that helps organize information to a degree. So from there, we have the elements. We've got J, K, N, and then we have Q, R, and S. And from there, I suppose let's take a look at the rules. So the first rule tells us that J has to be given in the morning together with either K or Q. So this has a lot going on. So first of all, J is going to be in the morning, so it's going to go in the top row, and then the bottom row of that same day is going to have either a K or a Q. So we can symbolize this in a way that kind of mimics that. We're going to have J with K or Q on the bottom. Next, R has to be in the afternoon together with N or S. And then same kind of deal. We can symbolize this similarly, except R is going to be in the bottom with one of N or S on top for that day. Lastly, we're given that Q is going to have to go before both K and N. And specifically, they do clarify it's on an earlier day. So this doesn't count for morning before afternoon. This has to be on an entirely prior day altogether. Now that does kind of make Q kind of restrictive, doesn't it? Because, I mean, obviously Q can't go on the Friday, so it's going to have to go either on Wednesday or Thursday. There's only 2 different days that it can go on. And if you put Q on the Thursday somewhere, then that would force the K and N to go on Friday, which would lock out that day, which is kind of nice. In fact, wait, that further would influence the J, because J then would not be able to go with a K, so it would have to go with the Q on the Thursday, really. So that's actually pretty good. In fact, you know, let's exhaust this based on Q, because Thursday at the very least is already kind of restrictive, and Wednesday might do something for us as well. So we can say either the Q is going to go on the Thursday, as we said, or it's going to go on the Wednesday. Now, if the Q goes on the Thursday, then as we noted, K and N are going to go on Friday. Now, we don't know which one's which, so we'll just split this, K or N, one way or the other. But then, as we said, J can no longer go with K because K is already over here. So J is going to have to go with Q with J going in the morning. So we can adjust this to say that Q is actually going to go in the afternoon here, while J is going to go in the morning, which means R is now left to go on the Wednesday in the afternoon with one of N or S. And I suppose, actually no, it has to be S because N is already on Friday. So this is also locked. So that's awesome. Now, in the bottom scenario, Q would go on the Wednesday, obviously before K and N. I suppose this is a bit more flexible though, right? Because K and N could still be on different days. They could be on Thursday and Friday split, and then J could go with K still or Q. R could go with the N or with the S. So I suppose this one's a bit more flexible. Yeah. So you know what, that's still pretty good. Let's see what we can do with what we have. So the questions themselves. Question number 1 is our standard exclusion question. As usual, we go by the original set of rules. So first rule was that J had to go in the morning together with K or Q. And since these are in morning, afternoon order, we can test for that. So answer choice A has J morning with K, that's fine. B has J morning with Q, that's fine. C has J morning with K, we're good. D has J morning with K, we're good. E has J in the afternoon, that does not work. So we can get rid of answer choice E. Next, R has to go in the afternoon with N or S. So let's take a look. Answer choice A, R is in the afternoon with N, that's fine. B, same thing but with S, we're good. C, same thing but with S, we're good. D, R is in the morning, which doesn't work, so we can get rid of answer choice D. Next, Q has to go before both K and N. Let's see if anything violates that. Answer choice A, Q is after K, which is not cool. We can get rid of answer choice A. Answer choice B, Q is before both. That's legit. Answer choice C, Q is with N on the same day, and the rule was specifically on an earlier day. So answer choice C wouldn't work, and that leaves us with B as the best answer to question number 1. And as usual, I suppose we can just plug that in. Answer choice B says we have JQ followed by KN followed by SR. So from there, let's take a look at the local. So the first local question here looks like number 4. If K is on Friday morning. Now, if K is on Friday morning, I mean, obviously that could work in this template, but that could also work here. Like there's nothing stopping the K from going there. So you know what? Let's set this up separately. If we have K on the Friday morning, I guess the question becomes, what does that tell us? Well, first of all, J would no longer be able to go with K, right? So J has to go in the morning wherever it goes. So that's not going to happen. So J is going to have to go with Q. So that much is true. And I guess on the Friday, we can't have an R there either, obviously, right? R still has to go with one of N or S. So I suppose, well, actually, I suppose what that tells us, though, is that K is essentially going to go with one of N or S, and then R is going to go with the other of, right? Because there's nobody else that can go here. The only people that can go with K right now are going to be N or S. And then R is going to go with the other of N or S. This is still kind of flexible though, right? Because we could have the JQ over here with Q going before K and N, or JQ can still go on Wednesday. This looks like it can still go either way. So you know what, let's see, maybe we have enough information. The question asks, which of the following now could be true? Answer choice A, J is on Thursday morning. Now, that we said I guess we could have. If the J is on Thursday morning with Q over here, that might be okay as long as Q is before K and N, which is plausible. So I suppose that looks pretty good. Let's hold on to A. Just in case, let's take a look at the rest. Answer choice B, N is on Thursday afternoon. And actually, no, I guess that can't happen because either N is going to be over here with K on Friday, or alternatively, N is going to be in the morning with R, but it's never going to be on Thursday afternoon. Answer choice C, Q is on Wednesday morning. Well, no, Q is currently going to have to be an afternoon workshop. Answer choice D, R is on Friday afternoon. Well, no, this has to be N or S, so that's not going to fly. Answer choice E, S is on a Wednesday afternoon. And no, this is similar to B, in fact, because S would either go on Friday afternoon with K, or alternatively, it would go in the morning with R, but there's no possibility for it to be on Wednesday and in the afternoon. So the best answer to question number 4 is A. Next, question number 5. If Q is given in the morning, well, if Q is given in the morning, if you look at our templates, that means that this is impossible. Template number 1 wouldn't work. So the only way for Q to go in the morning is for it to go in the morning on Wednesday. So we can line that up. We can say that for this scenario, we're going to have Q in the morning on the Wednesday. Now, what else can we do with that information? I suppose that means that J is not going to go with Q. So J now is going to have to go somewhere with K. We just don't necessarily know where. I suppose R can still go with N or S. I guess we're going to have a very similar situation to what we had over here. So the only people that Q can go with are N or S. Actually, wait a minute, no, because Q can't go with N. Q has to go before N. So actually, in this scenario, the only person or workshop that Q can go with is going to be an S. So S is going to go down here, and that means that R is going to have to be with an N. We just don't quite know the specific sequence of these two sets. They can go either way. So the question here asks, which of the following cannot be on Thursday? And I suppose that would be S is probably the answer. Yeah, there it is. Answer choice E. S can't be on Thursday because it's currently with Q. Next, so back to the global questions. Number 2. Which of the following cannot go onto a Thursday morning? Now, if we look at our history, Thursday morning, so far, we've seen the J and we've seen the K as well. So we can cross those guys off. Answer choices A and B are easily out. So now we're down to N, Q, and S. Now, in terms of if we look at our exhaustions, let's just go one by one. Could we have an N on Thursday morning? So if we place an N over here, I mean, that seems okay. R would go with N on Thursday, for example, and that seems fine. Let's keep going for now. Answer choice D, could we have Q on? Oh no, that wouldn't work because, so Q either is on Thursday afternoon, or alternatively, Q is gonna be on Wednesday, but there's no opportunity for Q ever to go on a Thursday morning. So the best answer to number 2 is D. Next, question number 3. Which of the following pairs of workshops cannot be the ones on Wednesday morning and afternoon? So basically, yeah, 2 things that can't be on Wednesday afternoon in that order. So A, J and K. Could we ever have J and K? Well, no. That kind of seems like a bit of a gimme, but we know that on the Wednesday, either it's going to have to be S and R, or it's going to have to be Q with something somewhere, but J and K, there's no way that that would work in either one of these templates. So the best answer to question number 3 is A. For the record, though, let's just quickly look at the rest. Can we do J and Q? And yeah, that easily could happen. We could have J here with Q. Could we do Q and S? And again, why not? I mean, we have the room for it over here in this template. Can we do S and Q? And again, yeah, why not? We have the room in that template. And can we do S and R? And that happens in the top template where S and R go in that order. So once again, the best answer to question number 3 is A. Lastly, number 6, how many of the workshops are there that could be the ones that are on Wednesday morning? So what could go on Wednesday morning? So far, we've seen S, we've seen J, we've seen Q. So we've got at least 3. We know that S, J, and Q could go on the Wednesday morning. Now, who do we have left? K, N, and R. Well, K and N are out of the question because they have to go after Q, so they're certainly not going to be able to go on Wednesday at all. And R, well, R has to go in the afternoon, so R is not going to go on Wednesday morning either. So essentially, I guess we have 3 that could have gone on Wednesday morning. The best answer here is C to question number 6.